it's Kate and I'm here with another tutorial, and today I'm going to show you a way of attaching the yarn hair that can be used for so many different hairstyles. So what I'm doing first is I'm measuring around the head like a headband, from the forehead down to the nape of the neck and then back up to the forehead, and then I measured down the back center of the head where the part will be. And I'm just marking those distances on a piece of paper to sew my yarn to. So now I'm looping my yarn around my elbow, and I did about 120 loops of yarn around my elbow. And I know some people don't approve of this. I know I've seen other people wrap it around a book, but this is the fastest way for me to do it, and I think you'll find that it works nicely once you get the hang of it. But I just sew it right onto the paper, and it's kind of naturally spreads as I go. And so I'm just finger combing the next bunch of yarn here. But yeah, so I used to go through about a dozen different steps to do this process, and the more I did it, the more I kind of realized this isn't as necessary as I thought. And so I just started to slowly pare it down until I had a much shorter process. And that's good for me because I also sell dolls, and I want to make my dolls as affordable as possible. And the quicker I can make the doll without compromising its quality, the better, and the better price I can offer. So that was my motivation. And so right now I am sewing back across that seam 3 times. So 3 passes over that seam, and I'm going to come back over and take it off the paper. And I'm just trying to keep those two sides separated. I don't want them to get put together because then I might have to find my part again. But all right, and I am just slowly going to pin this around her head like a headband, kind of. And I'm parting it in the middle so that I can see her face and see how the hairline looks. And then I'll pin it in place. And I want to be able to put this hairstyle into high pigtails. So once I pin, I kind of pull it back to make sure that it's framing the face properly and that it will look right when I pull it up into the high pigtails. And I will be adding some wispies, which I'll have to show you in a different tutorial. Maybe next time I'll probably show you a quick video about how I end up styling her hair, but right now I'm just showing you the attachment method. And I'm overlapping the ends here, as you can see, and just pinning the rest of the way around that hairline. And then I am tying this so it doesn't get all tangled and mixed in with the other hair, and just to keep things tidy. So this may seem weird, but I use yarn as my thread to sew the weft on to the head. So I separate it like embroidery thread so that I just have 2 strands, and then I just go at it like I would with any other thread, and it works great with acrylic yarn. Other kinds of yarn, maybe not so much. I know that there are a lot of yarns that will pull apart if you try to separate the strands, and so if that's the case, I will just use upholstery thread, which I've talked about before, but it's very sturdy, it doesn't tangle, and it hides well when you're sewing on the the weft, but that works as well. You can also use embroidery thread that's the color of your yarn, but it's really not going to show at all. So I wouldn't worry about the color of whatever you use too much. But so I'm just doing kind of uh I still haven't decided what to call the stitch. It's like a back stitch, so I'll go back in behind where the needle exited, if that makes sense. I'm going back before the last stitch and then coming out after it. And that just kind of, and I'm doing it at an angle, so it kind of just wraps around that seam and makes sure it's a really thoroughly attached and securely attached. So yes, be sure to remove your pins as you go. um, I don't even want to tell you why I'm having to tell you that, but remove your pins as you go because if you're forgetful like me, it is easy to forget that the pin is there and it gets kind of lost um, in the hair, in the yarn hair. So I highly recommend it. um, so I'm just working my way around pretty carefully. And when I get back to the center where I began, I'll do a few stitches there just to secure it really well. The yarn likes to bunch up sometimes. It's giving me some attitude there. Oh, here it goes, wrapped around the arm again. That's my yarn's favorite thing to do is wrap around the tall arm. Hey, I'm getting towards the end here. And you can see I'm just stitching the same spot a couple of times before I pull it through to the bald spot and tie it off. Okay, and now that I have that weft attached, I can untie my top half and push the hair back, and I want to part it down the middle so that I can add the middle part weft now. So I'm getting my paper and I just did about 50 loops for this weft, and I sewed it the same way that I sewed the last one, and I'm going to pin it right down the back center of the doll's head. And it is going to overlap the one that I already attached a little bit at the top and at the bottom. And you don't want to pull this tight. I mean, it's okay if it's loose and it bunches a little bit. When you sew it on, it won't matter. All right, and now I'm just starting at the top and I'm going to do a stitch right here at the beginning that goes backwards, and then I'll just sew right down that center part the same way I did the weft that goes around the head. And I did kind of backtrack here, which I don't normally do, but there was just kind of a gap there that was a little too big for my comfort. So it's okay to backtrack if you need to. And just sewing right down the middle and removing my pins as I go. I can't say it enough. And I use this hairstyle for this method of attachment for a lot of hairstyles. It's so versatile, and it gives a really smooth transition from the part in the middle to the hair that goes around the head. It just all blends together really nicely, and it looks so good. And so here I'm just, I put a couple of stitches there at the very end just to secure it, and I'm tying it off. And so next time I'm going to show you how I style the pigtails and add little wispies. It just is a really adorable effect, and right now I just love her voluminous hair, and she's so cute. But I'm just showing you how I'm parting it and separating it into the pigtails, and how it just blends together really nicely. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.